From mid-century to contemporary, public to private, we're in search of the very best in art, homes, happenings, stores, restaurants, and people. Things that defy categories. The perpetual freshness and cool of modern never ceases to captivate us. Join us for another edition of Modern Dallas TV to discover what's going on and where in the modern world.
Hi, I'm Micah Gilbert, the geologist and gemologist at Impressive Geo Designs. We present the finest natural decor with high-quality minerals, corals, and other specimens from all over the world. We provide a variety of functional pieces, including lamps, tables, bowls, and other custom projects. Share in the beauty and wonder of these stunning gems and natural works of art. Visit us at ImpressiveGeoDesigns.com.
Modern Dallas Real Estate this week is here at 4322 Williamsburg. I'm here with Pam Brennan, one of the co-listed agents. The other is Jeannie Nethery of Briggs Freeman Sotheby's International Realty. Pam, this really is a spectacular one level.
It is.
Tell us a little bit about this home.
Well, I love many things about this home. First of all, the location. It is located in Old Preston Hollow, situated on almost a half-acre lot. And the lot is spectacular. It has many mature trees, lots of landscaping that give a lot of privacy, particularly to the backyard. This house is timeless architecture and design. I think you'd agree with me, Jeff. And the curb appeal is truly spectacular. It's one of a kind.
Check and check.
Good.
But it's a great modern.
It is a great modern. It was built in 1996, and then subsequent to that, in about 2000, 2001, a new owner did some renovation to the home to make it something that was most personal to them. And then my clients have done a number of updates as well since they have owned it the last 10 years. They have absolutely loved this home and loved living here.
And I can tell you it feels like it. It really does. There's sort of a feeling you get into a home when you first walk in that there's just sort of a comfort zone. And I think they have that. It
does have that wow factor. When people enter the home, they say, wow, this is really a cool house.
It really is. So tell us some of the features and benefits of this home.
Well, I think one of the things that really stands out to me when I come into this home is all the windows. It has such a light, bright feel to the home, and that's because there are so many windows. There are electric shades on the windows. They are zoned, so you can raise them to any height and zone it too. So if you only want certain ones closed, you can do that. So it just really gives a lot of natural light to the home. As you said, Jeff, it's one story, which is very appealing for many people. The home has a very open floor plan, so it is a fabulous house for entertaining. I've been here on numerous occasions and for parties, etc., and it just gives a beautiful open feeling where guests can wander inside and outside, wander through the home, and you just feel connected to everything that's going on in the house.
Some of the benefits that I think, well, one of the highlights for me is that panel in the kitchen that opens up to the garage. What a great feature.
It is a great feature because the panel to the garage that opens to the garage matches all of the cabinets in the kitchen. So by looking at it, you would have no idea that there was a garage behind that panel. So it gives a very seamless, clean look.
So one of the highlights of the house, in addition to the home, is the backyard, the swimming pool area.
Yes. And there is also some beautiful sculptures in the backyard, and those stay with the home. And they really complement the backyard, and I think they give it a real unique, special feeling. Also, there is a beautiful glass greenhouse in the back that also, it's totally glass, and that gives also a uniqueness to the backyard.
Well, it's a beautiful home. What's it listed for?
It's listed for $1,325,000.
You can see it at briggsfreeman.com.
Yes, you can.
And if you'd like to see all the modern listings in Dallas, visit our website at moderndallas.net. Thanks, Pam.
Thank you, Jeff.
Modern Dallas Art this week is privileged to be here at Valley House Gallery and Sculpture Garden. This is a beautiful environment and maybe one of the jewels of Dallas that you should definitely put on your bucket list. But today we're featuring sculptor and artist Deborah Ballard. Deborah, thanks for taking the time to join us today. But more importantly, let's talk about art. Let's talk
I'm
about
ready.
Good.
Yeah.
Let's talk about these wonderful collections you've created, spotted all through the garden over here and around Dallas and the country and all over. But these are sort of indicative of the work and these life-size pieces. How did this all get started?
Let's see, when I was born, no. I have been sculpting this kind of work since the mid-'80s. I started doing this specific, I've worked with the figure since the beginning of time. I've been an artist my whole life, but I started seriously studying models again around the clock when I was in graduate school. And that's where I actually started the seed of casting and working large in a sculptor's way. Before that, it was all clay. You know, I loved clay and my studio was set up for clay. They all start out as wet clay, and I end up pulling a mold and casting them into whatever, you know, plaster, bronze, which is wax, what you're casting into, and this is cast stone with bronze elements. Most of them have bronze elements. That one actually has wax in it.
So all of these pieces sort of have their own personalities.
Yeah.
How do these come to fruition and what makes them who they are? Because they're like life-size people.
Well, to me, they're a little bit larger than life size because when I stand next to them, they're kind of towering over me. Which is kind of it's like I call it like a bad habit. You know, I always think that I'm going to work smaller, and then I start a 7-foot figure or a 6-foot figure. There are things that I relate with, and I try to work in groups most of the time. If I can accomplish a group before they get out in the public, I like the way that they relate, and you can move them around and make them mean something completely different. Like if you turn this one around and it's facing that way, it has a whole different idea behind it. And you know, my idea in the studio is highly personal, and it comes from everything that I consume in my heart and my brain throughout my whole life gets poured into these pieces. But then once it's out here, whatever people are looking at and feeling and thinking, that's what it's about then. It's about people bringing their own history to them.
So I suppose at some level, when you talk about pouring your heart and your soul into this, there's more to this than just these pieces. There's a history.
There's a huge history, yeah.
Give us a sense
I've
of your
had
history.
a really rich life. Well, I'm a product of the 60s, so I had a huge hippie life in the 60s, which got me in a lot of trouble. But, and then I met what would become my husband and the father of our children, and he was a Vietnam veteran. He's the one that supported the idea that I was an artist. I was already an artist. I actually had my first show when I was in junior high, which was in the storefront of a paint store, but you know, still, to me, it was a big deal. And it was paintings, but I have just slowly grown with my family life and friends and what would you call it, business. Yeah, and you know, having professional galleries to start handling my work early on really boosted my confidence. I always felt like I was good, and I always got a lot of encouragement. My husband pushed me into going back to school, and because I didn't think we could afford it, and I just, I've been very fortunate, and that is what has gotten me here, you know, to being able to afford to be able to do this kind of large work.
So some of your pieces have cutouts. There's obviously a purpose for that.
Yeah, yeah. That I call that the inner voice, and that was the last show. The title of the last show was the inner voice, and to me, everybody. I know I have things within me that I feel like I have angels that help me through life, and I have many of them, and sometimes they're a really good friend, sometimes they're an amazing gallery, you know, sometimes they're a neighbor, but it's all this input that helps me get through life and makes me happy. And so the insets are, like I said, they're very personal, and they mean something very deep to me depending on where they're at. Like one of them has the brain cavity exposed with a group of figures inside of the brain. Some of them have angels. Each one of them means something dramatically different. And I get interested in hearing people that don't even know who I am. I'll be standing around and they'll start talking about what they're getting out of a piece. And to me, that's what it's all about.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Last question.
Yes.
A lot of these pieces are females.
Right.
Why females, not males? What is that influence?
Well, I know my body the best, and I've worked from a tremendous amount of female and male models in my career. I don't work from models anymore. I taught from them. You know, like I said, I worked around the clock from them in graduate school. I wasn't interested in doing portraits. I can be my own best model because I know my body really well. You know, I've lived with it for 66 years. And so whenever I come to a point with a female figure that something's not quite working, I will strip down in the studio and look in a mirror and go, oh, that's what that leg does, you know? And so, not that they're about me, but most artists that work figuratively, you can see elements of them in. And a lot of them, like these are my feet. I pulled a mold from my feet and incorporated them. Not all of them by any means are like that, but they are a part of me, and I relate with them. Now these in particular were androgynous initially. A lot of people actually thought that they were male. A lot of my figures, and I thought, how can they get male out of these? They're obviously female to me. But so I decided to make some that were androgynous, neither male or female. And slowly I did a whole series. Some of them slowly became female, some of them slowly became male. And then I made one that was both. And that was kind of the grand finale. But so, you know, it's just something that's easier for me. The males are really hard to not give childbearing hips to for me. But it's a challenge that I face off and on.
Well, you know, I think, yeah, this is just an incredible body of work. One of the pieces that was probably highlighted for me, and it's actually at a different venue, we recently were at the Resource Center and saw your piece, Welcome.
Yes.
And, you know, you really do feel welcome around these pieces.
Yes.
They're a part of you. I watch you touch these pieces. I've watched you walk through. When you touch them, they're you. They're like a life-size friend. It's a very gentle touch. You seem like a very gentle person with a big heart
Yes.
and a lot of energy to make these great pieces. But
I'm a glutton for punishment. Serious glutton for punishment.
But it's wonderful to have spent time with you. This is a great venue. The Sculpture Garden at Valley House, just beautiful. These pieces are beautiful. Take the time to visit. They're open 10 to 5, Monday through Saturday, 6 days a week. You can find out about them at valleyhousegallery.com. If you'd like to see all the modern art listings in Dallas, visit our website at moderndallas.net. Thanks, Deborah.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great.
Hi, I'm Empress and I'm with Impressive Geo Designs. Today we're featuring the beloved amethyst. The color can vary from light lavenders to deep purples. The faceted points can range from small to large clusters. The customized lamps and tables and bowls are available at ImpressiveGeoDesigns.com.
The modern lifestyle begins in the home, and you'll find a range of unique living spaces across Dallas's most desirable neighborhoods. Start your search by meeting one of these modern realtors. Poget began his career with a degree in architecture, followed by years of interior design work, including the interior design of several luxury high-rises and commissions for clients' dream homes. Poget's distinct background makes real estate a natural fit. To wrap up this edition of Modern Dallas TV, we cover local modern events and the art scene. Check out the calendar and the arts page on our website at moderndallas.net. There are always great events from the Dallas Architecture Forum, Preservation Dallas, and the Dallas Center for Architecture has great walking tours in downtown Dallas. Open houses every week, always a great selection. You can create your own mini mod home tour. And Todd Camplin covers the art scene for us, from art galleries to museums and artists. You can check out his page on the website. And lastly, if you're in the market for a modern, mid-century modern, contemporary, home, high-rise or loft, we simply have the finest moderns in Dallas. For this week, we appreciate you being part of our show. We'll see you later.